You ready? Hello and welcome to the No B.S NLP Podcast. My name is Nicholas Rave, and this is my partner in crime,
Morgan Lane Bennett.
And we are here to help you get NLP out of your head and into the world. We like to think of this podcast as NLP for smart people. So in today's episode, our very first episode, entitled Fear and Loathing in NLP, his idea. Also, the title is The Top 3 Reasons Why NLP Doesn't Work and How to Fix It. Now, before we jump in to the 3 reasons, I think we should both start off by saying we love NLP. NLP is amazing, and we wouldn't have started a podcast about NLP if we didn't love NLP.
I think what you mean to say is that we fucking love NLP.
Yes, fucking love NLP. And that actually brings up, I think, a good point. If you are at all offended by what some people might call foul language, you should probably fucking leave right now, because we really believe strongly that words don't mean anything other than the meaning that you give to them. And I think that it's perfectly fine if you're offended by words and fuck off. No.
Yeah, I mean, fine, I guess. But there are no bad words.
Right.
There are only bad writers.
Right. Bad intentions.
Yeah.
So let me begin by telling you very briefly about how I came to find NLP and why I love it so much.
Please.
So I found NLP what is about 12, maybe 13 years ago. I discovered it through investigating hypnosis, and then fairly quickly started hearing these letters, NLP, mentioned by various people. And for years, literally years, I heard people talk about NLP, but could never get anyone to explain what the hell it was. Finally, one time I'm at an intro to hypnosis class. The teacher gets up on stage, my very first hypnosis and NLP teacher, a guy named Todd Levinson, shout out to Todd. And he was the first person to ever explain to me what NLP was. And the way I've told people is that as soon as I heard all of this, it was like I felt like I was home. I felt like I had found all of these different things that I was fascinated in, from communication, self-mastery, persuasion and influence, transformation, psychology, relationships, you name it. I found all of them explained better under this umbrella of NLP. And I dedicated my life to studying it. And I have been in the field of NLP for over a decade now. I spent 7 years teaching it all across the United States. I've taught literally thousands of people. I'm a master practitioner and trainer of NLP myself. I've had trainings from numerous different organizations. I've read books. I eat shit, breathe, and dream NLP and hypnosis. What about you?
Awesome. Well, I love that. So I came to NLP through, I was a personal trainer for 10 years. And a lot of that is psychology. A lot of it is sort of getting people to do things that they don't want to do, like exercise, or not do things that they do want to do, like nothing, or be lazy. So there's a lot of reframing. There's a lot of identity design. There's a lot of working around with people's beliefs and stuff.
If you're good at it.
Yeah, that if you if you want to be efficient with it. And I was, more than a personal trainer, I was a personality trainer by the end. And after 10 years of that, I didn't want to work in a gym anymore. And it wasn't really playing to my strengths, helping people one at a time to get more healthy. So, I've been hearing NLP. I'd read about it from some of my heroes long before. And a friend of mine who'd done it, gone through the course, and was like, you got to do this. And it took me years to go, I don't have a weekend, bro. And finally, 4 years ago, I go to a prac that is being taught by this guy and someone else who was very good. And I see Nicholas up there, and I'm like, I remember seeing Nicholas because he was like young and he's on fire, and he's like, And I was like, oh my God, not only do I want to be like this guy, but I love NLP. I was like, oh my God, this is all of the stuff.
It all came together.
I'm like, oh, that's reframing? Oh, I do that all the time. Oh, this? Oh, I didn't know that. But then there's like parts integration and submodality shifts. I was like, holy shit, this stuff. And I got super hooked on it because it played to all my strengths. And I was like, words, critical mind, fixing things right to the point, no dilly-dally, no story, all that stuff. And it was just speaking my language. And I went to Master Prac with this guy. And I just remember and I went all the way through trainer's training, but I just remember thinking like, I wanted to be like Nicholas. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be embodying this empowerment-ness. I wanted to be helping people to learn these things, not only to learn that they can use it themselves, but to hopefully use it with other people to make the world a better place. And that is why I fucking love NLP.
I love that.
And this guy.
I love that personality trainer line that you dropped. I wasn't a personal trainer, I was a personality trainer. Yeah. So really quick, before we jump in, now that we've taken a few moments to tell you a little bit about who we are, what our background is, how we found NLP, before we go a little bit deeper into why we love NLP so much and get to the 3 reasons why NLP doesn't work and what you can do to fix it, we're going to take a brief moment to have a word from our sponsors. Hi, it's me. I'm the sponsor. So, in order to fund this podcast, I've created 2 amazing new programs designed to help you take your NLP and hypnosis skills to the next level. The first is a program I actually started running at the beginning of this year called the NLP Dojo. The Dojo is a hands-on practice and skill-building program where you can get personal feedback on your process in real time from me. It's a super small group program and is exclusively for practitioners and master practitioners. And right now, I have 3 spots available. The second program is called the NLP Bootcamp, and it is a monthly full-day virtual training where we cover specific topics, all the important topics in NLP, like submodalities or the Milton model or parts. It's different every month. And I call it a boot camp because it's half content and half practice. So whether you are already a master or you're one of the many people I've talked to who feel like you took the trainings, but you didn't walk away with the confidence to really make use of your investment, I've designed these programs specifically for you. Now, this is literally the first time I'm mentioning either of these publicly. Up till this point, they've been by invitation only. So I don't even have websites up for these programs yet. But if you're interested, you can email me at nicholas@nicholasrave.com. Thanks, and now back to the show. Okay, welcome back. Now that we have gushed about how much we love NLP for as long as we have. Hopefully you're still with us.
Yeah, we'd keep going, but
we're now at the point where we're going to discuss the top 3 reasons why NLP doesn't work and what you can do to fix it. For this very first one, which I see as probably the single most common problem that prevents people from making progress in NLP, and I'm not talking about your basic beginner types. Incidentally, that brings up a good point. This is not an intro to NLP podcast. That's something we should mention right here is this podcast is intended for people who have some degree of knowledge of NLP. Maybe you've read a few books. Maybe you've attended an intro training. Maybe you're a master practitioner or trainer of NLP and you just want to geek out with other NLP geeks. That's what this is about. And I can tell you that from practitioner all the way to trainer, the single number one thing that holds people back is what Morgan is going to talk about right now.
Yeah, it's called fear. Surprise! Right? So for me, what was holding me back from getting the most out of NLP was fear. So I had fear that, oh my God, is this BS? Is this bullshit? Did I go to this thing? Because I leave the seminar room where everything's wonderful and everything worked perfectly and everybody's so open to it.
Yes.
I go home and I'm like, oh my God. So hang on, I got to explain something to someone I'm not really sure how to explain to them, and I got to try and work this magical stuff even though I'm not sure about it. So at first I'm afraid that it's bullshit. I'm afraid I got scammed. I'm afraid that I'm going to come off as like some weirdo who's joined a cult. Who knows what that is? But more importantly, it was the fear in me of what if it actually worked? So, what if NLP did work?
So it was the fear that it might not work and that it might be bullshit, but it was also the fear that what if it did work? And what would that mean?
Yeah, to me, like,
totally.
What would it mean? What would I have to do if this worked? Not only if it worked on me,
right.
but what if I would have to wield this power? That was my fear. And I got them all like dingly talking about it.
Totally.
Because that was my shit.
Yes.
And I was Johnny Cool Guy. I was fine, successful life. But now I'm saying, but no, this is the thing you've been hiding from. This is the thing. This is the power. This is how you can make the most difference. And that's what really brought up the fear in me. And it made me, it's funny, it made me not practice. And it also made me like afraid to practice because I'm like, for several reasons. We're like, the least of which is what if it doesn't work? The biggest one was, oh my God, what if I have to step into my power and make this work? And for me, it was getting over the fear of practicing that really allowed me to see the results. And
well, let me comment real quick here. So notice that he described the way that fear shows up for him specifically. But my challenge to you is maybe fear's your issue, maybe it's not. But if it is, your fear might not be the same as his fear, but fear is the general block that I find that prevents people from doing the things that get them to the point where it actually works. And it's often how many people sabotage the whole process because they don't want to wield the power.
Sabotaging by inaction.
Yes.
I was just not doing anything by sabotaging, but I had paid for the daggum stuff. It cost me a fortune. I went down, spent all these weeks learning it, have kind of identified myself as this, but I was like, because of fear. And what got me out of that fear was confidence. It was trusting myself to be able to wield that power and trusting myself to practice and to actually get out there and put myself out there. And once because of course I'm like, I need to read more books. That's all fear. And that's lack of confidence, because if you've gone through a training, you know plenty, you know enough to go out there and start doing something. And it's a matter of just trusting yourself. It was a matter of me just trusting myself to just do it. And once I started seeing results, once I was like, is it okay if I practice some NLP with you? And all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, she's crying on my couch going, my life is totally different. And in my head, I go, shit.
How long did it take you? How long were you in inaction?
A year.
Yeah. Wait. So I've seen thousands of people go through NLP trainings, okay? I've seen thousands of my own students go through trainings. I've seen hundreds of people go through other people's trainings. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's big. It's a very large percentage of people that go through these trainings. If you had a gun to my head and you said pick a number, I would say between 50 and 80%, closer to 80%. 80% of the people who were in your NLP training don't get it. They don't use it.
They're not using it. They may have gotten it, but they're not using it.
Right. There is a sequence to fixing this. The fear goes away when you practice. You get confidence by getting results, and you get the results by practicing with people. Yeah. And you only gain that by going, I have to go out and do it. You have to have the courage to go out and do it and then get results and see what works. And you kind of have to get over that thing about, what if it doesn't work? What if it does work? I love that dichotomy of you can have fear on both sides keeping you stuck for a year.
Yeah. And finally, when it was there, the biggest part for me was actually stepping into ownership of this skill, this talent, this mindset, and getting out there and doing it. And that's why I'm super glad to be here right now doing this, because it's beautiful. I feel beautiful just doing this. This is a beautiful moment in my life where I'm actually manifesting this. I'm stepping in and I'm owning it, knowing that things aren't perfect. Oh my God, is this going to be, what if this has got to be here? Not stopping for that, but just getting out and doing it. And that is, for me, the largest metaphor of all, is just do it. Screw Nike, but just do it. Right? Just do it. So, yeah.
Okay. My turn? Here's the number 2. This is the number 1 reason, fear. Solution, practice, confidence, courage. Okay? Here's the number 2 biggest reason why NLP doesn't work and what to do to fix it. This was mine. Okay? And not that I'm saying I didn't have fear, because there was a shit ton of fear mixed in with this one that I'm about to explain. But I want to start with this. When I told you a minute ago that 50 to 80% of the people who take NLP trainings, in my opinion, don't ever actually use it. Did that surprise you? Was there any part of you that was like, have you ever sat in a training and looked around and been like, am I the only one not getting this? Like, all the rest of these people here seem to be getting this. Well, then I guess I'm not going to raise my hand and say this isn't working, because I don't want to be the asshole here who's like, that didn't work for me.
Right.
That we did that technique and it didn't work. Or, or maybe you're the client in an exercise and they do the technique and you're like, that was good. You did a great job. When it didn't really do anything for you. So here's the number 2 reason. Lying. Okay? So I have a confession to make. You may or may not have heard this because I've shared it quite a few times at this point, but I spent 7 years teaching NLP. I ran my own NLP training company, and then I worked for one of the largest NLP training companies in the world. And what almost no one in that time knew was that while I was on stage training thousands of people how to go and use NLP and getting results on stage with people paying me money privately and training people like Morgan to go out and use these techniques to get results with their clients, I never got NLP to work for me once.
Sweet irony.
I lived a kind of lie that reminds me of those like preachers that you hear about who like rail against homosexuals, and then you hear about how they were at a truck stop. Like, that is exactly.
Shadow much?
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, I would literally do a technique with someone to help them take ice cream. I'm not even making this story up. Literally, I'm working with someone to take ice cream and shift the pictures in their head, submodalities, you know what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, they don't like ice cream anymore. And in front of a room of people, and that fucking night, I go up to my hotel room and eat a goddamn pint of ice cream as I'm 60 pounds overweight because I can't work this stuff with me. Now, here's where this gets fucking crazy, okay? I'm going to tell you a quick story to try to illustrate this point. There's a movie with Jim Carrey in it called Man on the Moon. Man on the Moon? Man in the Moon?
Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. Yeah, I don't remember. It's about Andy Kaufman. Okay, the comedian. If you know Andy Kaufman, if you don't know Andy Kaufman, he's a legend. He's a very experimental, very out there comedian. Anyway, Jim Carrey did this amazing portrayal of him in, I really like the movie. I'm gonna kind of spoil it, so fucking spoilers. Sorry. He gets cancer, and he gets this idea in his head that he's going to cure his cancer. He's going to go to South America and see a healer. And they do a process called psychic surgery. If you've ever heard of this before, it's where they lay people out on like a table, and then these people, like, it appears that they're reaching into the person's like abdomen and pulling out this like gross stuff, right? And he goes down there, and as he's waiting in line, hundreds of these people are in line. He gets close enough, and this is a dude who's performed in Vegas with magicians and all this. And he sees them, and he sees that what they're doing is sleight of hand. That they're not pulling this disease stuff out of their stomach. They're reaching into a bucket and like pretending to pull out, it's like prawns or whatever.
Yeah, like guts.
Guts of something like this. And they're pulling all this stuff out. And he sees this and he goes, oh, well, it's fake. And he dies. Spoilers. But here's the thing. For years, I wrestled with this story because I thought, and I knew, you've heard of the placebo effect? Many of the people that stood in line to go get this psychic surgery were healed from whatever it was that they were ill with. So the ethical and philosophical debate that I had with myself was, is it ethical to lie to someone if it heals them? If telling them the truth is going to kill them, is it ethical to tell them a lie? Why am I telling you this story? Because I want to illustrate how twisted your mind can get. See, when I was up on stage teaching hypnosis and NLP to all of these people, I had it in my head like some kind of martyr that I knew the truth. But all the rest of these gullible people, please forgive me, any of you watching, all the rest of these gullible people, they don't really get it. But I know the truth. And these other people who are teaching it, we all know this is bullshit. But if we can convince enough of these people, then they can actually get the result. It's like I knew the result worked, but I knew it wouldn't work for me because I knew too much. Because I was too smart. It wouldn't work on me. Woe is me. What I found was that, truthfully, how smart are you if someone else is happier than you? How smart are you?
That's a good one.
If someone else who you think is stupid can make changes like that and you fucking can't? So, what is the solution? There are two pillars of foundation that I have found that are necessary to counterbalance and make sure that NLP does not drive a person crazy. Because NLP produces real results. And in that sense, it's dangerous. I genuinely believe that. Like, you can hurt yourself and other people using the tools and skills of NLP if you apply them incorrectly, or you apply them in ways that are damaging. Number one solution for the problem of lying is something called radical honesty. It's a book that I recommend called Radical Honesty by a guy named Brad Blanton. I've done work with him personally, one-on-one. I've taken trainings from him. I've read his book. I've recommended that book to probably more people than any single other book I can think of. And
yeah, except me, because I was already kind of there.
Yeah.
But he did. And then he was like, you know what? You're kind of radically honest anyways, which is why I think we make such a good pair.
And I think why you were able to work through the fear as the issue and start getting results.
And cop to it.
Because you already lived that life of, oh yeah, shit, I have to be honest about myself. And it is a tall order to actually be real and be honest about what's going on and about whether or not you're getting results, about whether or not something's working. When I was sitting there and somebody's doing hypnosis with me, I didn't want to hurt their feelings. So I never told them, and it just one lie built on top of another, and then I became this personality in the field.
Right. So how did radical honesty express itself for you?
So radical honesty showed up for me as first admitting that it had never worked. And really taking a step back and going, maybe this whole thing is full of shit. Maybe none of this works. And when I stepped back and started really examining myself and being honest about things with the people that I wanted to be honest with the least, the people who it was the most scary to come clean to, all of a sudden everything started working. But this leads me to the next point. The next point is the simplest way to describe it is being stuck in your head.
So this is the
third point.
Yeah, the third way that NLP doesn't work.
So fear, the solution is practice, which leads to results, which leads to confidence. The second one is lying or dishonesty or putting up a mask or a front or a face. And the solution with that one is radical honesty. The third one is being stuck in your head or disconnected from your body. They are the same fucking thing. Okay? So when I see people in the field of NLP who don't get results, it is so often because they really believe in mind over matter. Mind over body. They believe that they can think their way out of problems, that if they think positively enough, the fact that there's actually fear, which leads back to the first one, or anger or hurt or sadness in their body doesn't matter. Like, I can think my way out of it. So I'm going to put this as simply as I can. You were a body first. Okay? You are a conscious mind inside an unconscious mind that is inside a body. You can think about it developmentally. An infant when a baby infant is born, they are basically an animal. Okay? Like a very basic animal. They develop an unconscious mind, and they start to be similar to more developed animals. Dogs and chimpanzees and things like dolphins and things like that. Then we develop this thing called a conscious mind, which is very connected to language and the ability to abstract and disconnect and think about the past and the future and think about right and wrong and all of these different concepts. And then we forget about the other two. We forget about the unconscious. We forget about the body.
Yeah, because you don't have a body. You are a body. It's you. And I think one of the reasons I got so much out of NLP so early is because I came from 10 years of personal training. I went to massage school, 12 years ago. Like, I came from the body. I knew about how the body works, how emotions lock up in the body, what posture means to the body.
Yes.
Well, how things get stuck in the body and how you can change someone's mind by changing their body because they're together. They are one. You are one. You do not have a body.
Yes.
You are a body. And NLP can be so like, if I can just analyze this. And I have so many people who are like, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, that kind of stuff, where they're trying to think their way out of a problem
you can't do it.
They thought themselves into. Like you have to feel your way out of that. And to me, that goes to the point of like not being stuck in your body. So,
I want to say that again. You cannot think your way out of a problem you felt your way into.
That.
Okay? So this all clicked for me when I watched a TED Talk by a woman named Amy Cuddy. Cuddy?
Cutie.
Cuddy, I think. She basically did all this research about how standing in a certain posture for like 2 minutes can dramatically alter your body's chemistry.
Yeah.
And it would change people's impression of you. It would change the way your brain worked. I saw this research and I was like, that's fascinating. But wait a minute. What about the other 23 hours and 58 minutes of the day when you've got shitty fucking posture?
Which is why I've been Johnny Posture for my whole career.
So I have found a direct correlation to the people who get value out of NLP when they first come into it without having to do a whole bunch of remedial work like I did. A lot of those people have a very strong connection to their body. Or they're unconscious, or both.
Right.
Like my wife, for instance, had a much more effective time. She took to NLP like a fish to water because she was like, oh yeah, I already do all this stuff.
Right.
Oh, that's an easier way to do the thing that I figured out how to do when I was like 4 years old. And she was much more in tune with her body. And I was like, oh, you're in pain? Fuck off, body. For years. And man, I had cancer just recently.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty good, but I mean, it worked out well.
Yeah, no,
thankfully.
The cancer worked out well. But like having cancer, I mean,
it's a pain in the ass.
I'm not saying it was necessarily caused by that. I'm saying like I would not be surprised if that's why I got cancer. Right. Because I was so just shoving all this emotional bullshit down in here.
What is the answer?
So body awareness, somatic psychology, in particular, the work of a guy named Alexander Lowen really impacted me. There's something called bioenergetics, which is about just like thinking about your body as like emotional trauma is a thing that can be trapped in the musculature of your body. So and you got to kind of wring that shit out.
Bring it out, acknowledge it, work it out. Foam rolls. I made a career off of foam roll.
Yes.
Off of working out, just being conscious of your posture, being embodied, flow arts, dance, sex, anything that's going to get you using your vessel. Screaming
is a great thing to do.
Any kind of creative expression, all that stuff. That's how you're going to get out of your head. Because again, that's why we said we're here to make this podcast so we can help you get NLP out of your head and into the world and get other people feeling the goodness that you got.
Sex is another really good one.
Yeah, I said sex, but let's say sex again.
Oh, wait, sex.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Right. Yeah, sex is a really good.
Yeah. Do that. Okay, so we've talked about fear. The top 3 reasons were fear, lying. We were going to say loathing, but it's fear and lying.
Yeah.
And being stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Right? And to me, all 3 of those are really, if you chunk up, are really one thing. And they're all BS. They are all forms of BS. And we all know that BS is bullshit. And when something's not working for you, it's bullshit. Fears, lying, all that stuff is bullshit. And we're here to help you stop that. And we also mean something else when we say we're the No B.S. podcast.
So we have a very particular philosophy when it comes to NLP, and it is No B.S. NLP. And that BS does mean bullshit. So it means like there's a lot of one of the topics we're going to talk about soon is pseudoscience. There's a lot of pseudoscientific bullshit in the field of NLP that gets like swept up. Like when people start believing that anything is possible.
Cultish bullshit. Ugh. Like it's like pseudo-cultish, all this stuff. So we're going to call out the bullshit of NLP.
We are anti-bullshit, no BS NLP, but there's another meaning to BS, and it stands for belief systems. So No BS NLP is NLP that at its core is rooted in the idea that we should operate. If you want to get the most out of life and be the most effective, we should operate holding on to our beliefs as lightly as possible.
Yeah, because any problem that someone presents you with, or that you might have, or that I've had, is a belief. It is a little structure of thoughts in my head where I believe I have this problem. I believe I can't get help. I believe that I'm a bad person. I believe my parents are, I believe the world is this. All of that comes around beliefs. And if you're rigidly holding on to your belief that I am a this, or that this is a that, you are stuck. Your beliefs are the things that are holding you back. And I've branded myself the BS Whisperer for that reason, because I'm able to use NLP to help people to change their own belief systems, which will help them get rid of their other kind of BS. Because when your belief system doesn't serve you anymore, it becomes bullshit.
And that's the key. I don't believe that you can walk through life with no beliefs, because beliefs are valuable. Yeah. They're useful. Beliefs are like rules of thumb. They're like ways to not have to think something through again.
Right,
but
shortcuts.
Even right there, you can already start to see the problem, because if you have beliefs that make sense in one context or at one time in your life, that doesn't mean they're going to be applicable everywhere. And I believe this is the most important about the most dearly and deeply held beliefs that you have.
Yeah.
And we believe very strongly in challenging those beliefs in ourselves and in others.
If it doesn't work, get it out of there. Because I like to tell people, it's easier to change gods than it is to change banks. All right. So here, hang on a second. I'm not religious, but I'm going to go ahead and believe that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior right now. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to change. Okay. Right. So boom, I'm done. So who's in control of that? Me. Like, that's what we should just ta-da. Right. But who controls that? Who controls that in you? You. You're the one who decides what you believe.
Yes.
So you're the one who decides what you're capable of.
Yeah. And everyone can do that. You might not believe, quote unquote, that you can change your beliefs that easily, but you can. And this is it. All the BS, all the bullshit that I have seen in over 10 years in the field of NLP all comes down to beliefs. It all comes down to faulty, stupid beliefs that have gotten sucked into the field. And I think that if you operate in NLP and in your life by constantly challenging those, which kind of leads me into our next point.
Why we're here.
Which is, why did we call this podcast the No B.S. NLP Podcast? And one of the main reasons, I think I'm doing this out of order, but the one that's coming to my mind right now is because we want to be challenged in our own BS.
Well, yeah, I mean, call yourself out. I'm here to, if I'm saying on the BS Whisperer, if I'm saying fuck bullshit, well, then I better have as little of it as possible.
Yeah.
And put myself out there for scrutiny, the same scrutiny that I'm putting NLP to my friends and family to the world itself to. I need to be shining in that light as well.
One of the other phrases that I love is skeptical scientific hypnosis. I love taking those concepts, skeptical, scientific, and hypnosis, and putting them together, because in people's minds, they're like oil and water for most people. But I don't think that's true. I think that that's because most, am I going to get in trouble? Most of the people who practice hypnosis are full of fucking shit. They are full of bullshit. They have all this crap that comes along with it, and you don't need any of that. You don't need any of it to get results. And your results increase to the extent that you challenge the bullshit that you're holding on to.
Right. And that's why we're here. I think, what's your favorite Penn
Jillette of Penn and Teller, the magician. He says, if you want to test your ideas and make sure that what you believe is true, talk about it publicly.
And that's why we're here.
The number one way to do it is talk about it publicly, because people will poke holes in it. Like, I can't wait to put videos up on YouTube and get people ranting in the comments about how full of crap we are.
Most of it'll be, and hopefully there'll be a thing that says, I don't know about this. And if I'm like, you know what, you're right, I'm open to changing for the better. And that's what I think the No B.S. NLP podcast is really here for. And so ultimately, the solution to BS is no BS.
Yeah, in every sense of the words. So why are we doing this podcast? Because we love NLP. And as much as we love NLP, we hate the BS equally. Like, if I didn't care about NLP, I wouldn't care about the BS. Yeah. But NLP is so fucking awesome. It has the capacity and ability to change the world, to change everyone's life. I genuinely think this should be taught in grade schools.
Well, it should be taught in grade schools. You're right.
Everybody can benefit from learning this stuff. And I want to live in a world, for 100% selfish reasons, I want to live in a world where everybody knows this stuff because it makes my life better. And I believe that the field of NLP is full of a lot of crap right now, and it needs to be challenged to rise to a new level.
Right. And I think a lot of people who know about NLP, who have taken NLP classes, are also kind of full of crap in that they haven't used it and taken themselves to the next level.
Yeah, us too. We are fully guilty of this, and this is part of our process of going, okay, well then let's not do that anymore.
Right, and because I want you've paid how many thousands of dollars to go to the thing that you spent all this time with, and if you don't use it, then that's a waste. You're wasting your money, you're wasting your time, but you're also wasting your potential to make the world a better place, because there are people in politics and the media whose names shall not be mentioned who are using this on you all day, every day.
All the time.
All day, every day. And if you are able to empower yourself to go, I recognize that, and help other people to do the same thing, we can make this world a better place by just being smarter.
There are billions and billions of dollars being invested into figuring out how to use these exact principles and techniques to manipulate more and more people, to get more people addicted to their cell phones, to get less people thinking critically, questioning things. This is not going to go away. As technology continues to increase, the speed at which technology and information is bombarding us, the people who can use their brain, that's what NLP is to me, it's just tools to be able to think correctly and effectively. Yeah. The people who can use their brain, the people who can concentrate, the people who can hear when someone else is doing something.
Right.
Learning about NLP doesn't make you impervious to it. It makes it so you can recognize it when it's happening. NLP isn't good or bad. It's like a hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house or tear a house down.
Or hit yourself in the head.
Or hit yourself in the face with it. Yes, absolutely. So we want more good people out there. See, there are bad people, quote unquote. There are people out there using these tools and techniques for nefarious intent. And we want more good people out there taking these tools and combating them. Yeah. We need to be better than those fucking assholes. We need to be better than those people who are trying to take over the world genuinely. And it's not going to happen because we're going to teach more and more people how to do this.
And we're actually out here doing it. And I'm so excited to be here. I'm actually just really excited to be talking about what I love. It's just fun for me. And if it's fun for you and if it makes the world a better place, then that is awesome.
Another huge part of the reason why I'm doing this is I got really tired of teaching this and seeing 80% of the people not use it. I hate teaching this to people. I hate it teaching this to people and seeing them not use it because of fear, because of dishonesty, and because of being stuck in their head and bullshit. For whatever the bullshit reason is. So we're here to challenge people, to inspire you, to pick up the tools. Don't leave them in the closet.
Yeah,
they don't do any good.
Up there on the wall, like you just bought a bunch of stuff at Sears or whatever, and you got them all like up on the wall with like the little outlines, but you don't actually do anything. You don't actually build anything, and then they're just kind of causing you all this guilt and stress. We want to make sure you're using those tools. And ultimately, just in full disclosure, to wrap things up, we are also here not only to help you, to help the world, but we're here to help ourselves.
Yeah. Of course. We don't have to be weird about it. We have selfish reasons for doing this. We talked about some of them. We want to spread the word because it's going to make my life better when more people know this stuff. We want you to challenge us. We want accountability. We also want to teach because teaching makes us better.
And it makes us happy. And makes us mastery through teaching.
Yes.
Is a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? So get out there and teach.
I love getting a chance to just talk about what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And we both do this professionally. So it is our intention to get clients from this.
Yeah.
Morgan's the BS whisperer. He sees clients one-on-one. He does breakthrough sessions and one-on-one coaching. I am currently somewhat branded as the NLP coach because the vast majority...
I say rightly so.
Thank you. The vast majority of my clients are people who are trained in NLP and trying to get better results, either better results in their business. I, as you might have seen in the word from our sponsors earlier on, I run a small group coaching program for people who want to get over the hump of confidence or people who want to just hone their skills in NLP. Because I realized early on that you don't master the violin by taking a 2-week-long crash course in it. You master it like you master a martial art.
Practice.
A dojo. You go there and you practice and you practice and you get feedback. And last point, we want to build a community.
Yeah.
That's part of what this is about. We want this to be a dialogue.
Because we want it to grow, because to me, the thing that religions have that the rest of us don't is they have the community. They go there and they do the thing and they all sing the songs and they like each other. And that's a beautiful thing. And if you could take the religion out of there, the community is what's beautiful. And that's what I want to create with this, is a group of people who are inspired to make the world a better place. And community. In
a world right now that feels to me like it's being ripped apart from the right and the left.
Totally.
I feel like I am in an extreme minority of people who I think everyone is fucking stupid. I think almost everyone.
I think that's a stupid thing to say.
I think almost everyone on every topic is just batshit insane right now. And it's so hard for me to find a community of people who are thinking about things the way that I think about the world. And I think NLP, to me, is a way to connect with people who are like-minded and share a worldview that is optimistic. It's empowered.
A worldview that can change the fucking world.
It's grounded. Yes.
So let's all get together and do this thing.
So ultimately, we're doing this because we love NLP and we want to see NLP better than it is. And we want to inspire you, and we want to connect with you, and we want to win-win all the way around. So I hope this has been valuable for you. I hope you got something out of hearing our journey and our story. We're going to be filming more of these episodes and putting them up on a weekly basis as soon as this project. So I hope you found this podcast to be valuable. We had a really fun time. I don't know about you. I had a really fun time doing this and sharing this with you. I hope that you learned something from our stories and our own journey. And I hope that we inspired you to bust open your books again. Go practice with somebody. That is the number one most important thing you can do. Come join my dojo if you want to have an opportunity to practice with a community and get feedback.
Yeah. The dojo is so valuable because you get to get feedback on your practice. Right, you get to actually have somebody go, because that's something that is lacking in training. So everything goes perfect in the training, but the dojo, you actually get to see other people. You get to see work in progress. So that was very useful for me.
Do something with what you've learned here, and come back and join us next week because we're going to have more awesome topics coming up. We're going to be launching with a whole bunch. You go now.
Awesome topics coming up. That's all you need to know. So just stay tuned. We love you. Go practice. Ultimately, we just wanted to say thank you for watching this. It's been our joy to make it. It's hopefully touched you in some way. And please come back. We got more awesome topics coming every week, and we're just going to keep the fires burning.
Love it. Should we have a closing, like a sign-off?
Peace, love, and NLP.
It works for me. Hey, Nicholas here. Thanks for watching. If you like this and you want to see more like it, you can click the like button, leave a comment, and or share it with someone who you think would dig it. You can also subscribe to our channel, and you can check out the bonus episode we made from the extra footage we couldn't fit into this one. Thanks again.
Project.